you're having a lot of fun here playing in this, this setting and with all the attention. Does the fact that the scouts here, does that make you nervous at all, or you just go about your game when you're on the court?
No, I don't pay really attention, because like if you start to be like focused on something else around the court, you can't play NBA. Who there is like a lot of like fans or some stuff like that. So we gotta focus like what is on the court and just on the court.
Now, everybody seems to be there for one guy. I mean, it seems amazing that with all the guys that even are on the U.S. team, it seems that all the attention has been on Andrew. We've put it to like some sort of mystique around Andrew, maybe the fact that he hasn't declared and no one really knows much about him.
Yeah.
We need you to shed a little light about this guy. I mean, I've been around him quite a bit, but even myself, I don't really get too close.
Yeah, he's just a really good kid. He's got a great sense of humor, and a big smile, but he's not overstated. He doesn't really want to talk too much about himself. Andrew's just a normal kid. He's really just, and maybe that's the mystique, that people can't understand, this superstar in front of our eyes just being so normal. And to some degree, that's the Canadian part about him. He's your typical Canadian kid. He's not really in love with himself. He's just very self-assured. Tries to give as much as he can to others. He's been really raised very, very well. Mom and Dad have done a great job raising him. He's well-mannered, well-spoken, and because he is quiet, maybe that's the mystery in him. People don't really get a chance to see, they're kind of wondering who he is, because he's just quiet and just goes about his business. But that's kind of who he is. It's just, I've been around him a lot, and when he was a very, very young kid, he hasn't really changed a lot. I mean, he's become much more mature, much more self-aware of what's going on around him. I think he keeps his circle very, very tight, as he should. But he's just a fantastic young man, a lot of fun to be around.
Now, I mean, a lot of the talk, of course, is on Andrew and yourself. You guys have a similar kind of story. I mean, your father's NBA kind of thing. How do you guys relate, or how are you similar in a way, you and Andrew's path to stardom right here?
Well, we're a little bit similar. I think he's a better kid than me. You see him; he's really impressed me how good his character is, and how down to earth he is. I think a lot of people think that we proceed to hate each other, but he's a great person, and we have a good relationship.
I've heard from speaking to your dad, you've got quite a relationship going on with Andrew Wiggins. And talk about his game, what he brings to the court.
Oh, Andrew's just a great kid, and he just has a great attitude, and he has a great mentality. We're just good friends, just good people, and we just want to see each other succeed in life. I think Andrew just brings an amazing game set to this game. He brings the talent, he has an immeasurable skill set, but he also has a crazy athleticism that really works for him. Very fast. What I didn't realize, you don't see in the videos, he's super quick. He's lightning quick, so that's what he brings to the game. He just brings a lot of mismatching, and I love that, because it's good that it's scary to think that you have someone like Andrew who can make a lot of mismatches, but then you have me who can make mismatches on both 4 and 5. So it just causes a lot of mayhem. Me and Andrew, we just seem to get along very well, just because we're both, I think, pretty talented, and we have a high IQ for this game. Andrew's just such a smart player, though, and he always looks to make his teammates better, and we both do the same, so sometimes it gets a little too passive between me and him, but I think that together we're a very deadly duo. But I think that this team, all together with all the talent we have with Dante Exum and Dennis, Schroeder, we just have a lot of talent.
All right, nice to have on hand my man Dante Exum. How you doing, Dante?
I'm good. Doing good.
Good to have you, man. You're all the way from down under, man. we know they have a basketball tradition. Where did you learn your game from and your desire to be here, and look where you've ended up, the Nike Hoop Summit?
Well, my father's always played basketball, so it's always been in the family. So he introduced basketball from a young age, so it's always been around me.
What have you seen from your head coach and what the confidence he's instilling with you guys?
He said every day to us that we are a very good team and we can we can win the game on Saturday easy when we do our defense and the offense. Yeah, we can win the game on Saturday for sure.
USA team every time play physically, every time play like aggressive, and if we're gonna do the same and just play with our own mind, we beat them.
Man, I'm looking at the practice, the scrimmage you guys just played, the intensity. You guys have a different mindset this year coming into this contest?
Most definitely. We need to just make up for what they did last year. I know we didn't win, but we just want to show that the USA, best basketball in the whole region.
In the whole region, I like that. Yeah. Now, I mean, really, everybody on your team, they know what happened last year. Guys are just looking to really set an example this year when it comes to the big game.
Yeah, most definitely. I think our character really illuminates how good of people we are, and our hard work and our work ethic. It just shows that we're just willing to work. We're ready to get down and play together.
You guys are really conscious right now of avenging maybe last year's loss. Have you talked to any of those guys from last year's team, or you don't need to talk to them? You know what you're out there for.
I mean, I don't need to talk to any of those guys. Me playing USA basketball previously, I know what to expect. I know what I'm going out there and I'm representing. So it's a huge honor to be here. It's my job to go out there and play my hardest and to the best of my ability and do whatever I need to do to get the win. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to go up against this international squad, and talking to some of the other guys, Jabari and Julius, they really want to win this game. I mean, last year the USA lost it. Nobody really looked at that team, the international team, to pull that upset last year. What's your mentality going into this game?
Well, I mean, we're the most elite group of basketball high schoolers around, you know what I mean? And if we lose the game or if we don't win the game, then it puts a big knock on us, you know what I mean? People kind of question us, like a little suspect, but if we win the game, then we're right there. So the international guys are playing with nothing to lose and everything to gain. We're playing with everything to gain and everything to lose.
The fact that we didn't win last year is definitely it's been discussed repeatedly and will be discussed until tip-off tomorrow. We have a lot of pride in USA basketball. You really can't put into words what it would mean to represent your country and then to win the game, and that is exactly the status we're in right now. And winning the game tomorrow is the absolute most important thing to us.
Well, I think as a coach, every time you go into a game, you think you can pull off a win, right? I mean, you're not going in there thinking you're going to lose. I think it's going to be a close game. It's a loaded U.S. roster, very different from the one we played last year in that their front court players are not as tall, but way more athletic. Can put guys like Randle and Gordon can put it on the floor. How do we guard them one-on-one on the perimeter is going to be a real challenge for us. But if we keep them off the glass and we get back on defense, I think we've got a chance.
We have a very, very tough opponent in the world team. Everybody's telling us, and I do believe that this is the most talented world team they've ever had in the Hoop Summit. And if you talk about all the great players that have played on the world team in the past, that's a heck of a statement. And again, we have quite the task ahead of us. Coach Roy is the man. I met him 2 years ago in Cancun for the U16s, for the FIBA Americas tournament U16s, and spent a little time with him, whether it be in the dining hall or sitting in the stands as other games were going on. Knows his basketball, and the one thing I do love about him is he's a great competitor. And watching him, I guess I don't know if I should say this, but watching him last year and how happy he was that they did win, a part of me was happy for him because I know how hard he worked for it. He deserved it. We didn't play well enough to win. But I'm also looking forward to competing with him tomorrow. He's somebody who's been doing this for a very long time. In Canada, I believe he's one of the best college coaches in the country. Enough said there. I can learn things from him. I've tried to watch and keep following him and watch what he's doing. It's an honor to be able to coach against him tomorrow. I just hope we win.
know, I was, raised in Toronto from a very young age. Came over from England when I was about 10 months old. East Indian family, the typical immigrant story. Grew up in downtown Toronto, stayed in downtown Toronto my whole life. Developed a passion for hoops at a really young age, and grade 4, grade 5 in elementary school, and played in middle school and played in high school, but never really, was more of a fan and loved to play the game, but never really saw it as a springboard into anything. I was just going to go on to university and get a degree and then get into the workforce. I chose to become a teacher and had an opportunity to coach when I got my first teaching job at C.W. Jeffries. And I was fortunate enough to walk into a gym with tremendous talent. And we won a championship in my first year as the junior coach. And it just became an addiction. I loved coaching. And I've been very lucky. I've been very fortunate. People have seen things in me. Nike, Mark Bain. Mark Bain's been an incredible guy, great friend of mine, and advocated for me to be the coach of the Hoop Summit 3 years ago. And Nike kind of decided they'd give me a shot, and it's been a great ride. But I would never have said that this was going to be my pathway. I never expected that I'd be here doing these types of things.
I read something before about you have a real story behind your life and your goals and your aspirations about your father passing. How hard was that to overcome, and what are you doing in his memory when you get on the court?
Yeah, that's every time. For me, when I lost him, it was very difficult. For my family too. He do everything for me every time, and but I said to him, I reached my goal for him, and so every time when I step on the court, I give 110% to reach my goal.
And that's the end of the first half of the Nike Hoop Summit.
My goal is first of all to get drafted to be in the league, but second of all is to stand into the league, to stay along until the end of my career to the league and to be in a good position there. So I wanted to work hard every day
to reach their goal.
Oh, there's no question. I think you see that from the number of scouts here. You know, from the week of practice. For many of them, this is a great opportunity for them to see, you know, some of the best talent in the world on U.S. soil. You know, so instead of having to fly and watch them play with their teams, they can see them play together, and it's been an incredible. That's the incredible story about the Hoop Summit, right? I mean, 3 years ago, I came in my first year and watched Bismack Biyombo go from, 18 months from being a kid in, a field in Africa to being the number 7 pick in the draft, who nobody knew about when he came to the Hoop Summit. He had triple-double in the game, and all of a sudden he's a millionaire. And those are the types of stories that can happen here that make this event so special.
I just want to be my best, like to give my best, like try to defend well, like help my teammates, push the ball, push my teammate, like score, block, pass, I don't know, like everything. I just want to help people.
From day one, we were all unselfish. We all like to pass to each other. We found out each other's game quick. We all practiced hard. We all communicated in practice. And there was no strangers on the team. Even people who didn't speak English, we're all still friends, joking, trying to joke, even though they don't understand English.
First of all, we want to give the world team and Coach Roy's team all the credit. They played a very good game. One of the most talented, if not the most talented world teams that we've had in the Hoop Summit. And they played good, pretty much from start to finish. And, we had a couple of runs there and we cut it close and, we just didn't have enough to get over the hump. So I want to give them all the credit. No matter what the final score said, very proud of the young men that represented the United States tonight in terms of they didn't quit. And, under the circumstances, obviously, we'd love to be sitting up here after winning the game, but, I still have to be proud of them for giving the effort that they did.
Obviously, I'm very pleased with the result. It was a really good game for the world team, and probably the most impressive thing is the way we've shared the ball from the very first practice. I thought there was great chemistry. Kids just, were phenomenal to coach. Like I told in the locker room, one of my certainly going to be one of my more memorable coaching experiences, just because of the quality of the kids that we had here this week. And I think that showed up on the floor. They were extremely unselfish, and I thought they played a great game. I think it speaks about the growth of the game globally at the youth levels. It's great for basketball. I mean, I think the U.S. is going to make sure that they're ready next year. I mean, they're going to come with a stronger roster, more prepared. They had some issues this year. I mean, there were some guys that missed flights and they didn't have a lot of practice time. But that was a spectacular U.S. team, and I think it's going to only get more challenging as we move forward. But as a Canadian, I think probably the most impressive thing, and I got to give some credit to Andrew sitting right here, is I was in this game 2 years ago with 2 Canadians, and I don't think we had one Canadian media outlet here. And 2 years later, we have a huge Canadian presence that's very, very proud of what's happening with our young basketball players and what's happening with our country. So as a Canadian, I take huge pride in that, and love to see what our young players are doing and creating for the next generation behind them, but also creating a great buzz for our country right now. So it's an exciting time, and I think as Canadians, we all take a lot of pride in it.
I'll say this, I played professionally overseas. The competition level playing against grown men obviously really helps them get prepared for events like this, and then obviously, whatever their future holds. So, you know, that's something to be said. Different caliber, but you know, honestly, you know, we're supposed to be prepared for games like this, and you know, the level of competition. So, you know, again, no excuses.
Out of the three-point line, you make a change of direction, making a quick pass and making a